note it down, screen cap it, do whatever you need to do. But you should definitely be finding a way to be at the finals at the SSC Arena at Wembley. The Wembley Stadium is going to be good. Now, we have a couple EU matches here today, so let's quickly check out the schedule so we can know what to expect in the upcoming hours. I mean, first of all, it's going to be Astralis and Dignitas, so the Danish face-off. What do you think about that?
I think it's going to be interesting. Dignitas coming off from a big win at the EU Minor in Tour, and Astralis, on the other hand, coming back from a big loss at Pro League, going out in the group stages, something that happened to them in the first season of Pro League as well, losing to Optic. A best of one, okay, but still it's something that no one expected. So maybe a chance for Dignitas to finally beat Astralis in a best of three, which is something I don't think they managed to do ever yet. Might not be true, but yeah.
Yeah, it's always been about well, the Astralis guys in the Danish scene, so it would be very cool. Because actually, Dignitas, they have made some strides recently. I mean, always, if there's a team run by MSL with the Danish talent on it, you're going to be expecting like that things are possible. So
yeah, that, and also the rise of Kirby as being a superstar basically at this point, really having great performances throughout the minor and recently even in online games. He certainly stepped up and is a consistent performer from the team, where you have Config who can also perform really good, but maybe not as consistent on LAN yet, not as experienced as Kirby, although both of them are really young. But it's good to see them winning the minor, and I mean getting a place at the offline qualifiers, because I felt that they are a team that, I mean, deserves, I hate that word deserves, but still a team that should be at a major, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, it's a really interesting match from that perspective. I always love watching Kirby play, so definitely a highlight for me. And the next match will be NIP versus Envious. So if you're thinking to see more of
another team you like watching.
Absolutely, more of the strategical and tactical approach versus, well, I suppose Envious have been changing things up.
I don't know how we can call Envious style right now.
Yeah.
Just, I think it's someone help us style.
Yeah, well, so if you want to be tuning into that kind of gameplay, I'm sure there's lots of NIP fans. I mean, they're always going to be an interesting team to keep an eye on. So their games will be very fun. But now it's time for the Score Esports pre-game breakdown here. We've got none other than Janko himself to lend us a deeper look into how you think the first match is going to go.
Well, I think it's going to be quite interesting, seeing as the vetoes of the teams are pretty straightforward. Dignitas vetoes Dust 2, Astralis vetoes Cobblestone, of course. So that gives Dignitas a chance to pick Cash straight away, which is a map they actually beat Astralis on at Malmo. That was also an upset win. Then we had NIP and Astralis face it off in the loser game. And I think on the other hand, Astralis is probably going to go for Overpass. It's their best map in a sense. Historically, they've had some amazing runs on it, and even though at the same tournament, I think Dignitas also played it decently, but in the end, I think that Astralis is going to be favored on it, and I guess the third map is probably going to be something like Mirage, and I feel it's going to go to the, oh yeah, here we have it on the screen. So yeah, the decider is going to be Mirage, and I think that it is going to go all the way to the third map. I think the teams are going to split their respective maps.
Yeah, I actually really like this map pool between these two teams. I mean, it's always fun when you get a Mirage and a Cash. Even better when both teams can play those maps. I feel like we have that situation. The style of Dignitas, I always really enjoy. They play a very dynamic, very AK-heavy style where they don't tend to go to AWPs on the T sides. And for like Mirage, for example, and Cash, I always felt like, I mean, do you feel the same way? Cash, I always felt like because of the other maps Dignitas are good on, they should be better at Cash than they actually are.
I think it was a problem for them initially that they were they were really good on Mirage and Cobble, and then for them it was a working process to try and expand their map pool. So then it was a bit of Cash, a bit of Inferno, some Train, then trying to figure out what maps actually suit them really well. And now when they figured that out, now they focus more on those maps like Cash, and they've been improving on Cash lately, had some good results as well.
All right, well, it is time to jump into the pistol round to get this game kicked off and also get his first cast kicked off. It's going to be good.
Jesus Christ.
It's going to be good. I can't wait for this. This is fantastic. So, Janko's in the hot chair now, and it's time to get underway with the pistol. It is Dignitas on T side and Astralis on the CT side.
Yeah, we can see that Dignitas, only MSL, having nades, already wasted one flash, has a small kind of flash left, so they're probably going to stick together, go towards the A bomb site and just use the utility MSL has to cut off a certain part of the bomb site and brute force their way in, basically.
And here they go, first frag from Dupree there. And he's going to be spotting quite a few players here, so the call will be made, but Astralis sort of out of position here to defend this. Dignitas having a really nice entry there, Rubino delivering with the 2 frags. And this is super scary for Carrigan. He can save the day here, coming in with the flank. He's able to get something out of this. So far, though, it looks very difficult. Lots of damage done, but the round will be won pretty handily there by Dignitas after all is said and done.
Yeah, and I think this is a good example of why pistol rounds are, why we call them random at times. This was Dignitas going in towards the A bomb site. MSL dies with 1 smoke and flash they have left, but still Rubino hit some really good shots with the Glock. They get entrance into the bomb site, and even though Astralis had good people on the rotate, they just don't hit their shots with the USP initially, and then Glocks have the advantage close range.
And now it's just time to see if Dignitas can pull off that money anti-force buy / anti-eco. It really depends, obviously. They don't know exactly what Astralis have done, whether they do go for like kind of a full save or whether they invest more, but we do get that very safe play into a long the classic for this kind of a round, and Config will be cleaning up Dupree there as well, so it looks like it's going all according to plan here.
I mean, this looks like it's going to be a pretty straightforward round for Dignitas, but I don't understand this from teams, and Astralis isn't the only team who does this. It's like they have 2 players who buy armor, 3 players don't buy armor. It's not, like those 2 players are not probably going to do anything by themselves, basically, you know, just by armor and pistols. So if your team isn't committing to it as a whole, there's no reason for 2 players. Of course, it's more fun to have armor and a pistol. It gives you higher chances to, you know, get off with a kill, maybe survive for a bit longer. But you should look at the big picture, right? It's going to hurt your economy in the first gun round, and maybe you're going to regret it because you won't have a Molotov or an extra flash or a smoke, maybe even.
Yeah, it's quite funny the way that teams decide to do that. I mean, it's one of those situations where sometimes I feel like in CSGO, because of the nature of the pistols, teams, it's like harder to see the fact that it is in the long run is actually really bad, because it's very hard to actually look at the long run, because one match takes, you know, well, it can be 30 rounds, can be 45 minutes. Like this, and looking at a larger sample size is very hard in a game like this. So just the more kind of, well, just going with your gut more of the time with a lot of these plays. Let's buy that armor, let's buy that pistol. And we've got Zipex with the AK that he saved, and if we get him in the right place at the right time, and indeed there's a flash in, the spray comes down, and it's only 1 frag, almost a second in fact, as Kirby escapes with 13 HP and the push comes in, but Cajun B has not been discovered just yet in this position by the barrels. 2 important frags, to say the least. Bomb is now down on the site, and KGB can still do more damage. He's not taken any hits so far, but he does not have Kevlar, so all he has to do is get tagged once, and he is done, and that is exactly what will happen. But that's really scary.
Yeah, could have been a lot scarier even for Dignitas. I'm not really sure. I was going to say that this is something they do often. They group up when they know their opponents don't have armor, but then they split up. They had 2 players towards Monster, 2 players towards the short swamp area, and it might have cost him if Sipnex hit that spray, and they didn't check Cajun's position as well. I think that probably Astralis would have won the round, but Dignitas a bit lucky there.
Yeah, and I do like that they decided to just go for the quick monster play. I think that's also can be quite a good anti-eco sort of round to play with as the alternative to the long push. But we will see now that Astralis have a device on the AWP. He's in the nude though, no Kevlar for him. However, still able to pick up the frag long range onto config. Device pretty prolific playing along with that AWP. We've been able to respond back in a small way there with a quick pick towards Suez. And now Astralis probably have to worry about the B push, as they've lost a lot of map control towards B. And Dignitas are in there. Rubino's really opened things up. If he can take down Carrigan, that will be huge. But Carrigan, very reluctant to face him, but eventually he will. And Rubino claiming yet another important kill and picking up the bomb for the plant as well. So interesting situation. Device on 1 HP, as is Tensky for Dignitas.
Yeah, but I think it's Dupree on the long rotate, but I think it might be taking him too long. I think they're gonna maybe expect him at this point, but looks like Tensky is still unaware.
Yeah, Dupree just missed Tensky there. That could have been a free one for Dupree.
He has great timing now. They're not gonna expect him from this angle at all.
Here he comes. Unfortunately though, his teammate did die But there it is, the free kill. And this is interesting, dupreeh running for that kit, probably. There is a kit on the floor somewhere. And there's no time, he'll get the kill, but simply not able to defuse in time.
And just remember the third round then, what we were talking, actually the second round, when
Yeah.
two of the players bought armor. They didn't do anything. Okay, Zipnix had armor and might have gotten those kills in the third round, but maybe some of the players would have bought an extra kit. And then
Right.
dupreeh, I'm not sure if he was one of the players, I can't remember, but maybe he would have picked it up on the ground somewhere, and the first gun round might have gone Astralis' way. Now they're facing a 4-0 deficit, but they still decide to force with the off-on device.
Indeed. And this is great here from Dignitas. It looks like they want to go for maybe either the set piece or a contact play into the B-bomb site. This is a really nice way to essentially remove the factor, the strongest point of Astralis' defense, which is Device's AWP at the moment. And instead, they're just going to set up the set piece onto B. Zipex is close. He's really good to deliver here. There's the first kill. Second one comes in as well. That's a really smart, or rather, sorry, solid play there from Zipex to get those two frags. Karrigan doesn't have nearly as much work to do because of Zipex, and now he can just hold water. The bomb is down. Time is being bought for the rotation to come in. There's shadows all over the place, but it's going to be Astralis who win the day, and that's the 1-4 for them.
Yeah, that smoke for Monster from City Spawn completely messed up the plans of Dignitas here. They wanted to go for basically a B rush or to explode onto the B bomb site from Monster, but then they had to adjust, and because they had all 5 players there, they didn't have map control anywhere else. They didn't know if someone was flanking them, so they were kind of committed to the B bomb site, but their execute isn't what they initially wanted to do, so it was a bit sloppy, and you could see Zipnix getting those 2 kills on short, basically completely dismantled their attack.
And this off angle from dupreeh, that timing on the push is fantastic. 2 frags is definitely going to be good, but somehow Device doesn't get anything from that. That is crazy. That was the perfect setup for Device to basically finish the round completely, and instead it's going to be a 2 versus 3 with Zipex in a position where he has to save the day. We have now Zipex with the first frag, but his position now known. Some hot flashes in there to slow down the T's and help his teammate Cajun B get in there with that extra time that he's bought. Cajun B really key at this point with that flank, and Zipex goes to reposition towards bank. Now, will Dignitas expect this? They themselves using the time they have on the clock, which is in quite some abundance. But Dignitas will slowly but surely get their way closer and closer onto the site.
I think Cajun's gonna move when he hears the plant noise, basically. Yeah. Kirby with 24 HP. I'm doing some play-by-play now and Cajun gets it. Easy game, easy life. Dan, help me.
Hey, you're doing a great job so far. And yeah, really nicely done there by Cajun B. Able to secure the victory. It was not without cost though, and considering that Dignitas did get the bomb down, they certainly will not be letting up on the pressure anytime soon. I mean, they surely will go for the force buy here. And there you go. In comes the Tech 9. Will we get plural? Tech 9s? Boom. 2 Tech 9s at CZ, a couple AKs. And with the kind of set pieces we've seen towards the B-bomb site, that is generally the most preferable round, I would say, from a setup like this. So we should expect a fast B setup. And Astralis going really fast as well, quite forward towards the A-long position and into connectors. So they have a fast rotation in the back of this. So this should be a potential here for them to be able to hold this by just stopping it from even getting into the site. And there it is, dupreeh by door, able to do some good damage, taking 1 frag before being Molotov back. And this is not going to plan for Dignitas. Really well played by the Astralis so far. Another nice couple of kills. dupreeh is getting a lot done there towards the door. This is savage here for Dignitas. Tennessee can't get the entry into B either, leaving Kirby, the superstar, versus 3.
Yeah, you could see how Dignitas tried to adjust because they know that the monster smoke. Okay, Kirby gets the kill on Cajun. I don't know why Cajun decides to peek there. This is where maybe you see, you know, online play, players playing a bit more recklessly. Like, there's no reason for him to go for the information play. I think they even knew that Kirby has the bomb, so you just play the numbers, right? Why risk losing a duel to Kirby, who you know is an extremely skilled aimer as well, which makes it now harder for your teammates. You know, they are split up at this point. You can either decide to stick together or maybe split up. If you split up, if he gets a good guess, he gets to plant the bomb, and then you have to, you don't know where he is and everything, but it seems he's gonna meet Zipix very soon.
Yeah, you're right. Like the 2 versus 1 versus the 3 versus 1 are like entirely different situations. That's like this critical threshold where the 3 versus 1, it's very easy for the CTs to play it properly. In the 2 versus 1, there's some now all of a sudden you have to gamble a little bit. That sucks.
Yeah, and their economy wasn't looking very good, but now they forced Dignitas to an eco. And what I was going to say is that Dignitas tried to adjust there, knowing that the monster smoke is always there for Astralis. They tried to go for a short push pretty quickly, then players would delay go through monster, but the quick connector push from Astralis was really bad for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's easy for Astralis to just eat up these players, but 2 frags, as I say that, and some critical damage done onto a couple of the CTs who are left in remainder. Tansky could guess, ooh, he lined it up there. He just pressed it, or pulled the trigger. That could have been a nice little headshot there with the Deagle, but it's not to be. 4-4 is the score as we get the 4-buy for both teams. Neither team with a solid economy right now. I mean, Astralis is slowly but surely building some money, but it's still not really that great just yet.
Yeah, it's also, a bit of undisciplined play in those anti-ecos. You just saw the money. They will have around 4K, a bit more to buy if they lose this round, but that's not optimal. They could have had more. They played a bit more disciplined.
And Device going for the aggressive peaks. Ooh, there is a player rather close, but he's going to back away regardless. And not spotting anything just yet, really. So the info not going his way. And that's due to the fact that the flashes and so on of Dignitas kind of denied him an easy way to peak there safely.
Yeah, that's probably the most important thing when it comes to overpass T side. You need to have good nades, good flashes to force the op away, and even a rifle if it's there. And you see what they're doing now. They're denying device vision. They're getting control of long and toilets, and that will allow them, if they want to, go for a execute with smokes. And Rubino just gets a lurk kill towards Cajun on B.
Perhaps Cajun's being a bit of a leak for the team at the moment. We shall see. Oh, I think Device clicked there, but nothing happened. Nothing came out of the AWP. So, opportunity missed, and now the keys are getting quite close, but it's MSL to get taken down by Device. Finally, some damage done here by the CTs. Dupree left on the bomb site. Has to be careful of the flames. Being pushed all over the place here. Finds himself another frag here. No real response coming in for a trade onto Dupree. Already to push his position. Finally, Kirby gets in there, but the trade is going to come in. And that is because it took him so long to get onto the site. Too much time was bought for the rotation. And Dignitas will lose the round. It looked promising after the initial kill, but
I mean, they decided to go for that A execute I was talking about, but they were missing a smoke between the Optimus and the plant box, basically, and Rubino was the only one left with it, so I don't know if he was late because he was getting a kill towards B, or it seemed like that execute was a bit rushed. They still had a lot of time. They had a man advantage, so no reason to rush anything in that position, and that kind of a botched execute cost an important round. Now they're back on a quasi-buy, and Device gets the first kill.
It does indeed, and it's just easy pickings for him. In fact, the flank is coming in as well from Dupree towards long, so no really for these players to go. They can't go in the front, in the right, or in the back. And easy round for Astralis. Astralis looked like they were having a very tough start, to be honest, and even the first few rounds that they won looks like they very well could have gone Dignitas' way. But it doesn't matter if you can't close the rounds in the end, and Astralis finally built some money. They got a good bank now to work with. And Dupree's leads, look, 13 kills, 3 assists, and 7 deaths. He is leads.
Nice, Dan.
There you go, 2 MVPs, ruining everything.
Yeah, I mean, now it gets much more difficult for Dignitas because they need to win 2 consecutive gun rounds to get Astralis in an equal, but Device switching his position and just slightly missing that shot. But take note that the fire from the Molotovs and incendiaries might look different on Gold TV or on the stream than it does on his own settings. So maybe he didn't see quite clearly. I always have that feeling when I play Dan. Whenever there's a Molotov, I feel that everyone can see me from it, and I don't see anything at all, and I just get wrecked.
Well, it's a cool little...
somewhere else.
Yeah, it's really cool to see how he's being quite dynamic and moving around with the orb. Oh dear.
That was awkward.
Yep.
But he manages to get the kills. And this is, I mean, MSL in a 1v5, so That's really important on not just on overpass, but city side in general. When you have, if you maybe have just one AWPer, is you want to move him around, right? You saw Device, he was first kill he got was on long, then he was moving around towards the fountain area to get picks towards mid. Now they moved him over towards B, and what that does for you is you have the MSL, the in-game leader on the other side. He needs to keep guessing all the time. He can't be like, okay, we know Device is going to be on long with the AWP, let's do this to counter him. You know, you never know where he's going to be. Right now, he had a great idea. He just missed his initial shot, but finds a kill towards connector. And right now, it seems like Astralis is finding their groove, basically, on the CT side.
Yeah, that power to move Device around, it cannot be underestimated, as you said. And Dignitas are moving in to play a bit of a default at the moment, just spreading out a couple of players on long. But again, your Device is not over there. He's actually sticking to playing short on B into the sewers at the moment. So I wonder if Dignitas will kind of spot this, and that is some key information, but it does also mean that Astralis to kind of essentially, let's say, play with, you know, the fact that Device is not on long. They've reinforced the defense there. They've got 3 players towards the A site defense, 2 towards toilets with the rifles. So very unexpected setup perhaps, because I don't think Astralis have showed this just yet. Although MSL will pick off Karrigan in the open there for a 1 versus 1.
Yeah. That's a slight mistake there by Karrigan. You don't want to use that way because when they don't have like a really strong buy. You could see that they're left, before he died, they were left with 3 smokes and 2 flashes, I think. So you basically want to force them to use all of that. And you have still a lot of utility, so just gave away a kill there, basically.
Yeah, and now Dignitas are deciding to make the move in, and we'll get the quick trade on the side defense. Cajun B with the double. That's going to be good, but he really had to do something there to make this winnable. Although that said, it is Device left versus 3. I don't think he's been spotted yet from Bank, so we'll have to see if he can, you know, use that up to strong effects. Here he is, first shot is going to connect here, so the element of surprise is going to work out. In fact, though, it feels like Dignitas did know that he was there, so maybe no surprise. But just 1 frag for him, and Dignitas finally swing around back in their favor, but their money is not really good, so it's kind of a scary position because Astralis can very realistically get the 10-5 if they win this round.
Yeah, and a great round from Tensky. You wouldn't expect him to be the one getting the entry kills, but it's what he managed to do in the previous round. And another note on that, Karrigan's position. If you want to go for something, then do it as a team, right? Do it with your teammate. Maybe he can flash you in, or you can push together. Like right here, he gets flashed in, gets a free kill on MSL.
Yeah, that is hard times. Tensky is eyeing his way in there. Tensky's had some great performances in some of the ECS matches. We've seen him in previous. He's been quite impressive, actually, in the last few that they played, as well as Rubino having some good entry work. And they're going to need all of that to defeat Astralis. Now Astralis just hanging out at the moment, just holding their positions. Bomb is down for Dignitas. They also holding their positions in this 4 versus 4. There is a lot of time to play with.
Yeah, and this is where it gets a bit trickier for the CTs, right? They have the same number of people, but Zikna's going for a play.
It is. It's a great play, Janko. Great play.
Again, we come to, you know, you're going for a solo play. Why not have a teammate help you out, or them trying to draw attention somewhere else? But it's now up to Karrigan to defend the B bomb site.
And here he goes by the barrels, going to find a 3-1 and remove himself from that position. They're still obsessed with that position. I mean, the bomb is down there, so they have to reclaim it. Kirby will be the man to do so, eliminating Karrigan in the process. Dupree and Device coming in for the retake, and so far so good. Dupree with a frag on the outset, as well as Device with a frag from up top with the Yorp. And Tensky's really in a horrible position right now. With 15 seconds and Device, his presence looming over the top there with that AWP. Tensky has to go for the fake here, but he's going to get shot from the side. The setup is perfect for Astralis in the end. And the money is screwed now for Dignitas. If they had made a plant, maybe they could have potentially squeezed the buy out here, and that could have been a good play, but instead, oh, they're just going to go for the buy anyway. Oh.
Yeah, not really sure about this one, because they're not pressuring Astralis' economy at all. And they could have just had a normal buy in the last round and go for a 9-6 half, which, you know, is pretty decent. It's not that bad. But yeah, they're going to have 2 weak buys now.
2 weak buys. Well, perhaps they can get something done with them. You never know.
Never know. In the game of Counter-Strike, Dan,
yep,
we saw that anything can happen. Just watch Especially of Team Liquid's games.
I was about to say, especially, I was going to be a little bit more ambiguous, but especially past midnight, Yanko. It's a magical time when, well, either way, it's going to be the pistols are raining in. One frag for them. The trade is alive, though, for the CTs. And Carrigan getting one through the smoke. That's the bomb down. Although they will lose device to the flames. Carrigan spinning around there. Great transfer coming in from the rifle play. And Tensky will try to get something out of that, but he cannot get it done. 9-5 there, so no bomb plant means that indeed it will be a shocking buy from Dignitas.
Just beautiful play from Carrigan in that round. Even after he gets the kills, he's fully flashed after he gets the kills through the smoke, but manages to, you know, hide in the smoke, move just enough so that the Dignitas players can't see him, and then gets an extra kill in all the commotion that was happening towards that A bomb site. And now Dignitas again on a weak buy, and they're forced to go for a basically fast B execute since they don't have a lot of utility anymore.
Oh, here it is, the peak. Oh my goodness. Device gets straight up dinked right there. And he doesn't get a frag in return. That is pretty devastating. I thought he had a guaranteed frag, but no. Has to leave it to his teammates right now. He'll get it done with a CZ into safety as well as he gets the kill and can move behind the smoke. So pretty wily play there from Device. And he's going to be boosting Dupree over the smoke. This is nice stuff. Ooh, there it is. Dupree gets the information and can easily spray through the smoke to take down Rubino, leaving Kirby alone. Interesting position from Kirby as well, to be honest. Is it actually an open plant, I wonder? This is a really cool setup. If it was a plant that was visible from that spot, it would be a cool setup. But 10-5, Yanko, I can't help but feel like Dignitas really had the ability and the kind of playbook that would allow them to have a much better showing here on the T side. But they just felt like they didn't have that.
I mean, there were a lot of close rounds. I mean, close, as we can see, a bunch of the rounds ended in elimination, not in defuses, so not that many plans for Dignitas. And definitely they would have wanted to do more after having a 4-0 start, only managing to win one gun round from that point on. But honestly, it was just Astralis playing really well on the CT side, going for different setups, Device being very mobile, managing to get early picks, or just forcing Dignitas to play maybe more methodical, slower, which would in the end allow Astralis to get some map information and rotate to the correct side of the map. Even in that last round you saw, because Astralis knows that Dignitas is on a weak buy, as soon as they see them towards short and monster, everyone is free to rotate because they don't really have the ability to fake with such a weak buy.
Well, it's time now for them to remedy perhaps some of the damage done in the first half. They could just secure that pistol win, all would be well, perhaps. They do have 3 players here, standing to attention towards B. Obviously, somewhat of a retake setup, actually. Quite a powerful one, considering that they have a headshot angle there with the boost. And in goes Astralis. Looks like they're going to just completely eliminate these positions with great use of grenades. This is really nice here from Astralis, I have to say. And the B side goes easily to them without having to frag anybody. But that was by the nature of the plan here for Dignitas. They're playing for that A retake, setting up positions. Now they're going to go for the push back in, but Dupree in jungle, easy frags there, and rip Dignitas, surely.
I mean, great execute there from Astralis. Kind of weird that Dignitas players didn't expect. Wow.
All right.
Okay. Take it over then.
Okay then. I don't think anything else is going to happen.
Yeah,
It looks like he's going to back away,
But yeah, kind of weird that they didn't expect someone to be in that jungle position, especially with the smoke falling there. But even without that, this is just a great read from Astralis, basically. That's one of the common CT pistol setups, to play defensively towards the B bomb site. You know, use the advantage of the USP's long range to try and get a pick off or two, and then play for the retake. But Astralis had the perfect counter to that pistol strategy.
They certainly did. And it will be quite cool to see how their anti-force buys, anti-eco strategies play out. Obviously, they don't know if it's going to be a force buy or an eco, but you kind of just run your best anti-force buy in those situations, and here we go. It's like Rubino gets, is somebody going to look? Looks finally like KGB turns around and is like, okay, I'm going to kill you now. But that could have been really bad. To be honest, it was kind of bad. I mean, there's still, now due to the damage done, opportunity for the remaining players of Dignitas to get kills. Tagged up Zipex, very tagged up Cage and B.
Yeah, Dignitas does this most of the time. They don't buy armor. I think only one of their players had armor. They just buy pistols both eco rounds. So they buy either a Deagles or CZs, and they buy that in the second and the third round, but with no armor, which is an okay compromise to an extent. I saw them win these eco rounds here and there, but in the end, I'm of the opinion you either commit or you don't. So if you want to buy pistols, then force buy and try to win the round straight out, or just go full eco and focus everything on the first gun round. I can see the philosophy of if you have some pistols, then you just get a few kills and you still lose the round, but you're still like pressuring their economy a bit, because if you just go for double eco and they only lose a player or two, then you have to win 2, maybe even 3 gun rounds in a row to force them on a eco or a weak buy.
And it looks like they're taking a more conservative approach in this round. As you say, pistols, a couple pistols are invested in, but no more. And the push is going to be coming in from them. And Carrigan hears everything. He hears absolutely everything. Oh dear, Harry's going to go up the ladder there to try to catch them in the back here. He's in trouble, in fact. He will just go down after only a single frag. He really wanted those frags, Danko. He wanted those frags pretty badly.
I mean, he was kind of stuck at that point because he had to face towards the guy with the squeaky door and then turn towards the ladder. But yeah, this is where Dignitas have, this is where the problematic comes in for them, because they need to win consecutive rounds, and when you don't have, look at their money, obviously if they lose they have to, okay, they will, force because they're on 14, but it's hard to go for aggression, for aggressive plays when you don't have a good back behind you, because it's a lot bigger of a risk. If you lose, you have to force buy with pistols, and that's not something that you want to do. And if you play too passively, well, then the good teams will just exploit that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good point. Go big or go home for Dignitas, and looks like Config, he's just going to get everybody on B is getting completely wrecked here. This is rather disappointing for Dignitas, and no one goes down. Surely at this point it's just a nothing round, and indeed that is what's going to happen. Carrigan and Device are very low on health, and it looks like Astralis are going to easily just run into B and win.
Yeah, I mean, a pretty straightforward execute from Astralis, and I have to say I dislike that play from Config, even though it wouldn't change that much. So he throws an underhand smoke. Astralis players probably know that he's somewhere close, and then he tries to hide in the smoke. Like, even if he survives for a little bit, he gave control of the bomb site to their opponents. His teammate was maybe counting on him in their setup to have a crossfire there or something. And he just bailed on it, basically, in that particular situation. Obviously, if it works, it gets behind their backs, then they have to have another angle they have to look out for. But now they're on a weak buy again, and in a 3-5 already.
Yeah, and it felt like they were in a lot of spots like this on the first half as well, where they didn't have buys in spots that maybe they could have done. And I saw NIP actually win an overpass game, which was super close against Astralis in their last matchup against Astralis in the ECS. And it was really cool because one of the reasons why NIP were able to win that is because they said to themselves, okay, look, if we just got reset, we could buy some pistols and force buy this round because we have to eco twice anyway. But they decided to actually eco twice instead of doing that because they respected Astralis' ability to play against CZs and P250s and so on. And they recognized they wouldn't get anything done. And what happened was that saving that extra round gave them enough money to actually have a buy in the following round. And they ended up winning with that, which is really cool to see. But we're going to have a quick aggression here from Dignitas onto Suez to pick up a quick opening frag. So early advantage here for Dig.
But still, Tensky's on low HP and very well. Okay.
Alrighty then.
Just run out of connector, go for a play. I mean, you have to go for, as devices left in a 1v4, you have to go for risky plays. You have to go for something when you're 15-5 down and you're low on weaponry and equipment. Nice flick.
Yeah, this is one of those cool spots where you have a lot of money, you got so many rounds to play with. Device can just go ham, he can do whatever the hell he wants. So these rounds are kind of a lot of fun.
I think he wants to win the round now.
I think he does, but he won't. Kirby's there with the AK, and the 15-6 is in for Dignitas. It's a long road to recovery.
And it's not Team Liquid on the match point.
No, it's not. Liquid getting completely wrecked.
And they're not playing against Luminosity.
Oh dear.
But Yeah, you can see that Config seems to be having a really quiet game, so to speak. Then, while you know, on the other hand, it's Dupree dominating pretty much with 26 kills.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how it works with Astralis on Overpass. With the Dupree and Device combo, Dupree's usually playing the most forward player in towards the A side of the map, but looks like we're going to have the A take coming in from Astralis here. The first engagement found and won by Carrigan, leading with it by example.
And here we can also see the difference between Astralis and Dignitas City side. Astralis mostly went for, you know, they would go together for either toilet or long, while now Cajun just gets a kill on Rubino, while Rubino and MSL were spread out. MSL was towards the toilet area, the guy there, and Rubino was towards long by himself. You have like small chances to be able to hold a push from the T's by yourself. So that's why you see CTs mostly grouping and then trying to clear that area of the map, let's say long, give away control of toilets, and then just refocus on that part of the map once they know that there's no one coming from long.
Right, and in this situation here, Dignitas are in a lot of trouble because the fracture won early, and it's Kirby who was able to take down, I think it was Carrigan initially, that made things a little bit easier, but the rotation comes in towards B. Astralis has done this perfectly, and it is easier to retake the B than the A site, but still, Astralis, another kill before the bomb goes down, and now things get really awkward here for Dignitas. They may be staring defeat in the face as there it is indeed. It's closed out 16-6, so very fast affair despite a good start. All things considered, a very strong start for Dignitas. 4 rounds in a row. They're looking really good, but then it fell apart.
I mean, they were basically beaten 16-2 if you want to neglect the first 4 rounds that happened, and they only managed to win. 16-6 was the final score. They only managed to win 3 gun rounds in all of the game, pretty dominated by Astralis. And you can see why Astralis is one of the best teams in the world on this map. Simply, they know how the map works, they figured it out, they have the good setups, and their players individually seem to be enjoying it a lot, especially Device on the AWP.
Yeah, it's actually cool to see him move around so much because that's actually not something I commonly see him do. Usually he doesn't move around that much as we saw in this matchup, but that will be the end of the first map. Astralis taking an early lead, a very fast and convincing lead. We'll have to see what happens when we move into map 2, which is Mirage, I do believe. So Mirage is always a fun one. As Cash, Mirage is the last one.
Mirage is the last one.
Cash is also always a fun one. It's all good. So see you after the break for some Cash. Well, hello there. It's time for map 2 between Astralis and Dignitas, a Danish face-off. And of course, if you missed map 1 or the beginning of the show, Janko has replaced James. We're looking at making this permanent, but
James is focusing on more the behind-the-scenes stuff with FaceIt, business side of things. Couldn't take the long hours anymore, so some young blood is here instead.
Yeah, Janko, I think he did well in the first game, so far it looks good. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. But you need to be able to make, weird references to like 80s, cartoons or rap music.
I was born after that time.
Well,
it's kind of
you're gonna have to do your research then.
Maybe something on the 90s, please.
All right, okay. Well, we can make that work. Either way, it's his Dignitas are going to try to make things work here against Astralis on the second map, which is Cash. I think I brought it up before. I feel like Dignitas, the Cash for me always felt like a map that should be good for them, but never quite was.
Yeah, but it's something they picked up lately and started performing better on it, and they won the knife, so they get to start on the CT side, which might be really good because at times Astralis was pretty shaky on their T side of Cash. But we see Dignitas decide to go for 5 armors. Why not? Who needs kits or nades for retakes? Only armor for aim duels then.
That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. The big man plays.
And we see that Astralis has a lot of utility, and they're actually going for a full smoke execute. Hope to get the first kill.
Yeah, looking pretty decent actually for Astralis, considering that the real plan here is to be on site, and they have displaced the players somewhat. Ooh, they got to win the battle against themselves. Very important. Dupree's able to pick that one up. He wants to keep the aggression going, so he tosses forwards the bomb, and then he redecides, creates a new decision here to go back into the site defensively, and this seems to be a great decision. He's picking off players left and right. So just Tensky against 3 players. That is not a good look for Tensky. I think that we're going to see a pretty good start from Astralis.
So funny then, a flash would be so handy when it comes to retaking a bomb site.
Are you sure, Janko?
Wouldn't you say so? Or we can all just buy armor and run in and get our heads blown off by Dupree, who ends the round with a 4K. And again, great T-pistol strat from Astralis. Bought a lot of utility. They were first in a anti-push default, so to speak, waiting for the CTs. Then they went for a full fake towards the A bomb site, which is something that can work very well, because once you use like 3 smokes and a lot of flashes in a pistol round, the CTs will, probably fall for it. The only problem is you won't have a lot of armor, so if it actually goes towards the aim duels later on, you might be in a bit of a pickle. But Confi gets a great headshot towards Cage and outside B lobby, and Astralis is in a 4v5.
Yeah, and when it comes to the anti-force buys, I'd like to highlight that there is, even if you're playing like the most optimal anti-force buys, there is always going to be something like 10 to 20% variance, and that is when the CTs get this spot where they get an untradeable frag, and that's what the Deagle does. It's like an AWP in that way. It's much harder to hit than an AWP, but untradeable frag regardless. The Scout can sometimes be similar in that sense. So Astralis not panicking, going to go into this site, but there's a player on defense position, or MBK, and also quad. So they really need to have the nades for these 2 positions. These are 2 of the most scary positions.
They have 2 Molotovs.
They have to Molotov these spots. Okay, 4 clips and quad. But MSL's by. Oh, this is a great position. Still not able to do too much, though. Gets some good damage in the frag. But that said, it all amounts to a great situation. Rubino on the flank. 3 players dead for Astralis. AK picked up as well, or Galil. Oh dear.
Another anti-force buy round lost by the terrorist team. I mean, the problem I have with this round is, okay, you can say that Cajun couldn't do much. He just got his head ripped off by config there, but then once you already commit to go with a 4v5 execute, right? You have a lot of utility. Why not wait and use it properly? You could see that they were throwing smokes and then running in without holding their crosshair when they throw the Molotov towards defense. Lets MSL get 1 kill. If he doesn't get that kill, they've cleared that part of the bomb site completely, basically, and in all of that chaos, Dignitas, by some fast rotations and running in through smokes, getting a couple of quick kills, in the end managed to win the all-important force buy.
It's okay, Janko. It's okay. It's all okay. But NIP are
Oh,
playing
that-
next. It's fine.
Yes.
It's just fine.
Yeah, I had this amazing stat that out of the 20 pistol rounds NIP won in Pro League, they only lost the second round 2 times, which is a pretty impressive stat,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
all things considered.
Yeah, I remember Threat telling me about that stat when they were about 10 or 12 into it. And,
Yeah.
I was like, well, he's like, I think we've won 90% of the. I was like, holy
Yeah.
crap.
And obviously,
That's amazing.
probably one of those. Okay, sweet.
Alrighty then, no Kevlar required. Just a P250. Conflict's on the flank though, but he's been spotted, and Carrigan will get a lick of damage in there. But this is from Dupree. He's in CT spawn. He's chilling by the bin that's on fire. Don't know why the bin's on fire, but it is. And now it's a retake situation onto the B-bomb site.
To keep you
Conflict's
warm,
there.
Dan.
I suppose.
Keep you warm
It's
on
probably,
the cold streets of. What is this? This
I
is
think-
in USSR.
yeah, I think this is in like Chechnya or something. Or like,
Definitely cold.
yeah.
Definitely really cold, as it is in my country of Siberia, which is Serbia.
I used to, for some reason, confuse Siberia, Serbia all the time.
Yes,
which
because
is.
you're ignorant.
I know, but I worked very hard, and eventually I stopped calling it Siberia. But that was after living with a Serbian for about a year. so
That usually helps.
it does help indeed.
Yeah, I mean, in this round, it was a case which we see from teams from time to time. Them Dignitas playing actually too passive to an extent towards mid, right? And Dupree managing to get all the way towards short, getting the first kill there. And I think it was because the player who was in connector originally was dinked and he was low HP, so he was a bit afraid to go for wider picks. Dupree with some great timings gets the 2 kills and gets the 3rd kill from CT spawn. So Astralis brings it straight back.
Yeah, they do indeed, and it's pretty devastating for Dignitas. Maybe thought that they could actually finally get another good start to try to remedy it in this map, but no. Astralis will be charging forth. KHB taking control of short there. Lots of options here for Astralis, to be honest. A, B, everything is doable because at this point there's only one man alive. So there you go. And he's going to get shot in the back by Device. So there you go. It's a 3-1. And when will this end for Dignitas? It really looks like they are.
They need to eco now, basically. But this is when Astralis is most dangerous, right? Because Devices has been like really consistent lately. But when Dupree goes off, seeing as he's also the entry fragger of the team, that's when, you know, it's really hard to deal with Astralis because he has, I think, 9 kills in the first 4 rounds, which is pretty insane.
Looks like Carrigan's going to get himself a spray down. Bit of a free-for-all there.
That was a
Carrigan,
fast round.
yeah.
But this is, I mean, I like this from Dignitas as well. You're gonna only have USPs, then go together, try to get at least a kill or 2. If you spread out, probably gonna just get picked apart by the T's anyway. So now you see, this is the problem with all the force buying. Now it's a gun round for them, but config, 1 flash and a kit. They have 4 smokes though, but only 5 flashes to go with them. So it's gonna be really hard for them to hold. As I say that, Rubino gets a kill. I think it was Steven through the smoke probably towards mid.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine Device would lose that battle there, 2-4, but Config gets himself a push. And that's not going to be a play that will work. And I've got to say, you know, once they got the early round advantage, it's, I guess, I suppose Config has so many players, he really just is hungry to get that multi-kill with the flash. And that's a good play, but definitely their advantage is going to slowly seep away. But Tensky, I don't know if he even expected to get that second kill. That was like the last bullet of a transfer.
Okay. Not really sure what's going on with Dignitas now, in a sense that 5v4, Config goes for that super aggressive move. Tensky gets 2 kills, then just runs straight towards Squeaky door to open that as well.
What's behind here?
You know, some really aggressive, unnecessary plays. And you know, seeing as how I played with Nico for a long time, and there are people who think he's the best player in the world, and I have people asking me, what is his flaw? You know, does he have a flaw as a player? And if I had to name it, which is probably pretty diminished by now, but he used to go for these aggressive plays when it was not needed, when the team already had an advantage, and then he would just throw that advantage away, basically, because there's you need to. It's important for players to understand when aggression is needed. So let's say like Dignitas now, they didn't have a lot of utility. They have to go for a play of some sorts. Otherwise, Astralis is probably just going to figure them out and win the round. But if you're in a 5v3, well, then there's no reason for you to go for aggressive plays, to hunt for information, because you can just give that round back to the opposing team. And sometimes because of too big of a desire to make to win the round for your team, there are players who make those mistakes from time to time.
It's actually a really, really good point on that topic, but I'll have to remember to talk about it at the end of this round, as we do have the buy versus buy, and the push is slowly being made here by Astralis over the top and middle. They will spot a distinct lack of presence from the CTs.
Look how the CTs are reacting now. They consciously let go of mid, but once they heard the noise there and realized the T's have mid control, they flashed themselves in to get control of A main.
Yeah, but unfortunately for them, the push is coming in with savage efficiency so far from Astralis. 2 kills into the long side. Rubino coming straight up to heaven though. Really needed play from Rubino to try to get a lot done there, to buy his teammates time and slow that bomb from going down. But he will only get 1 frag in the end. Karrigan's very low here, so this is a doable situation for the remainder of Dignitas. That is Kirby and Tensky, but Kirby runs into the crossfire, and not much he can do about that. Down to Tensky now, and Tensky's in a bit of trouble. He will be eliminated as well. But to quickly add to that point you were making with Nico, it's really interesting from the perspective of a macro awareness from players to adjust their game based on what's happening on the map and happening with their team, as opposed to just thinking, I'm in a good position to do this, basically, and just like being tunnel visioned as like a degree.
You always need the thought process you should have in a game, in a round, is what's the best move I can make for my team to win the round, and that's it. Push it towards A main.
Yeah, the anti-force buy is in effect, but they are losing players here. And another player that's a good example of that is Simple, I think, because Simple's so strong. He can always just go for simple plays and maybe make them work. Yeah. And it's really good to use him as an example, just to see that extreme, because that is Simple. That's why he'd be hard to play with, because you can't. I mean, you have no control over him in that sense. And a player like Simple, let's say you do put the control onto Simple, and you say, okay, don't go for those plays, then all of a sudden he's going to feel like he's not playing his game, and then he's going to lose confidence. So it's like a weird one.
Another example of what we saw on Overpass, Kirby spends 1200 almost. I mean, you could see in the end that his money is leveled with his teammates, basically. But, if he doesn't go for this, maybe he can drop an op for MSL if he thinks that's a good counter to what Astralis is doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, they're really having their way with Dignitas so far. The 6-2.
The problem is that all the early force buys, when you have force buys going back and forth, it's usually the team who manages to force their opponent on an eco who gets control of the half. And that's what happened because here, even the 2 force buys, even the 2 gun rounds they had, they didn't have an optimal buy, basically. And you saw the 1 round where they let go of mid. It's really hard, even if you get info somewhere else, to defend from a B split without an op, basically. It's hard to put pressure on the B side to buy time for yourself, but you don't have a lot of utility either.
And another round in the bag.
Cleans up. The cleaner, Dan, cleans up the round.
Yeah. Like when Henry plays well on our team, and when we're playing Pugs, I call him Henry Hoover. It's like
Henry's probably the guy who tryhards the most in like Face It Pugs.
It's great though.
Whatever.
It's amazing.
Like Elo is everything I care about. Fun is not that Elo is fun.
It is king. I like that. I like Henry. I like playing with Henry. It's amazing. And hopefully I can do that more when I have some time off. We'll see.
I think he's slowly losing his mind from playing with you, so I wouldn't counter that.
That is why it's so enjoyable to be the means to his destruction. But we'll see the push come into mid there. Very tentatively done, but just a kind of one-on-one. Straight comes in though from Kirby, who now has put his attention towards A, and he's getting himself more than a couple kills, or potential to get more than a couple kills here, as there's, never mind, KGB will shut it down. Nice little kind of peek and tap there from him to try to save the round, and it was very much needed. Kirby was basically putting the stop on the play Oh, ballsy plant there as well, straight in the open. They know the CTs are close. Device will take down the player on car. They should surely have a good beat on the position of Config, who is making his way along the
Cajun smokes
walkway.
off Device, kind of a miscommunication there, and I'm not sure. I think Config is aware of Devices, but yeah, he still gets the angle through the smoke.
Wow.
I mean, here you see it. This is the problem. This is an example of bad micromanagement from players, right? So, for a short time, Device and Cajun were in a 2v4 after the player from defense dies, and you could still see. I think it was Kierby who was facing. There's no reason for you to face. You give them an aim duel, give them a 1v1. You don't want to do that if you have a numbers advantage. Just play a passive angle somewhere where if he is to shoot at you, then Rubino gets an angle for him to hold away from the car area. And Cajun and Device, yeah, they hit some pretty crazy shots, but they're good players. That's going to happen every now and then. Why give them the chance? That's my point. Why give them the chance? You could have played it more optimally and made it basically close to impossible for you to lose the round.
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting concept as well because, again, Lerpus brought up a long time ago about, in the face of, do you, play the perfect optimal Counter-Strike? A lot of top players know how to, well, they know the principles behind it, they can do it, but for a lot of them, it's not going to be what's probably fun for them to do. And with the volume of games that they play, it's very interesting because for some players, they will find playing completely optimally as possible. That will be for them fun because to play the game that's the least flawed and has the highest chance of winning consistently, that is going to be fun to them. And that's what somehow Threat has been able to instill in NIP because NIP right now to me are the most disciplined team, and they have all the hallmarks of that.
I mean, for me, it was the same thing when I was playing. Winning was the most fun for me.
Yeah.
So I would play however I need to play in order to win. Obviously, it didn't work out that great. But yeah, I think that's a good point. That also why do people force buy at times, or why do they just buy pistols? It's because it's fun. It's much more fun to play with a deagle than it is with the USP.
Yeah.
But finally, we see Dignitas able to get a decent buy after that because now they have the maximum loss points by now.
Yeah, there is actually a funny point about that because again, if you look at NIP, they have the most buy rounds of any team that plays the game professionally. So that's the irony there. Is that if you play NIP, you'll be able to get more time with guns to do stuff. But so not a good start here for Dignitas, losing Pensky straight away. Lots of options here for Astralis. Typically, you can see mid take in this kind of position, but because they actually already got a pick, they don't actually need to go for a mid take. And it doesn't seem like they need to do anything right now. They're just getting all the frags before they even go into a bomb site.
I mean, that pick from wasn't that good, didn't make much sense, but he just went for the duel there. And that was much better from Dignitas, that they flashed the guy in squeaky. Unfortunately, Sipnix gets the kill flashed. Then again, Config pushes towards A main, but at that point they lose too many people, and Astralis just goes towards B.
Yeah, really big individual play from Config, and he's going to pick up the AWP as well. And it makes you think that they're just thinking to go for exits. 2 AWPs, what are you going to do on a round like this?
MSL wasn't thinking about that then, it seems.
Yeah.
He was creeping his way towards the B bomb site for some reason. Okay, but at this point, I mean, to be fair, they're losing 9-2 as CT on cash. Basically, you can only save so much, right? You need to try and win rounds by doing whatever you can, because it's going to be extremely hard for them to win 10 rounds on their or more on their T side.
Yeah, especially against the likes of Dignitas. Although, interestingly, one of the sad things actually is that G2 before they lost existence, they actually had some pretty strong set pieces onto some of the bomb sites. Notably, was a match in the ESL Pro League early on in it, which was against Astralis on CT side.
I did that game. I remember that the B execute that they did. I think 3 times.
I think it was 4 times.
Astralis just couldn't do anything against it.
Yeah, and you can see them adapting. I made a video about it because it's so fun to see Astralis being like, we're actually losing just because of this. And then you can see them trying to adjust, and everything they tried was just failing. But obviously that level of depth in G2 doesn't exist anymore, and never seen them run that play on cash since. So either way, Astralis looking to finish things off here. Carrigan just running through middle, wild spray. Why not? Rubino's dead. Kirby's dead. Who else will fall to the in-game leader of Astralis? Oh my god. Yanko, this is
madness then. I mean, what you see here from Astralis is they initially, in the beginning of the half, they would throw these smokes from mid and go for a B split. Now they throw the smoke, they send Kerrigan out to kind of fake that to draw attention, while his team just basically explodes towards the A bomb site, right? So they're hoping to draw attention from the second player on A, go towards the short area, and they only have to deal with one person on the A bomb site. And I think it worked for them. They did it 2 times. I think it worked both times. Although one of those rounds was the 2v4. But yeah, right now it's just Astralis is also feeling really confident. They are hitting their shots really nicely, and it's just being a nightmare for Dignitas, it seems.
Yep. Yep.
This is where you see a problem of sorts, where maybe if they had a double op setup or 2 players who would be really proficient with the op, they could maybe go for a 1-3-1 setup, focus on mid, just kill Kerrigan without losing anyone. Maybe the opper will get a kill towards A, then they can be on a fast rotate, maybe even flank them by pushing mid, going behind them on A main. But
yep, it's definitely not to be, but Dignitas this round with some aggression, finding some good results. But there goes Zipex. Oh, almost making that frag there. Had Zipex won that battle, the round likely goes there to Astralis, but instead he will die, and the round will go to Dignitas. They pick up a 3rd, but the best case scenario is just a 4. So, no, are they doing this? Is this happening right now?
what do they want to spam something, or are they just trolling them at this point? Cajun is using it to hold B, okay. Dupree probably had a good spawn for mid, misses the jump. Okay, why not? That's when you know everything's going for you, damn. You get random kills with random timing for the smoke. And Cajun gets the kill on config from T-spawn. That must be so tilting. They're just getting ripped apart by these ops, damn. Everyone, they just have people walking into their crosshairs. That must have been the easiest round of their lives, damn.
Is this Counter-Strike?
Device bottom fragging with a negative score, and still they win 12T round. Easy.
Is this Counter-Strike? That's all I have to say. Counter-Strike is more things than this, Janko.
Fortunately, in some online games, you can't really make sense of what is happening, but yeah, sometimes things just go right for you. Your players have a great game, like we saw from Dupree. Actually, Config is performing better for Dignitas, but it's just that they're getting dismantled. As a team, basically not much he can do by himself. And we see them going for a B-rush, maybe.
B-rush, here it goes. Rubino looking for the entry, and he's going to find it. Kerrigan will die by the crates in vent, and now it is down to Astralis to retake this. But it will be difficult. It will be a difficult task, and the bomb will be planted there for the storage. Now,
Sipnuk still towards the bomb.
No grenades here, but nice headshot there from Tensky. The defense looks fairly solid at the moment here from Dignitas, although they are losing members all of a sudden. Rubino and Config are just dead.
Actually checks that position on Config.
Yeah, and that's
behind the box on mid.
And that's very, very diligent play there. Now it's 1 versus 1. Zipex versus Tensky. Tensky trying to go for the dance here.
Battle of the supports then.
Ah,
Tensky
superior, perhaps, in this round.
This is exactly why a lot of teams play retake on A and have stacks towards B or push B early, because if you just have 1 or 2, even 2 players there, if they don't hit their initial shots while the T's are rushing, then you will just get overwhelmed. And once you have control of the B bomb site, you need a lot of grenades to be able to retake it. In my opinion, that's just something you don't have in initial rounds. So pays off for Dignitas.
It does indeed, but we've got the force coming in from Astralis, just going all the way, perhaps looking to have some fun. 2 scouts finding a tag onto MSL, and Tensky, they're going to run into his crosshairs here now. And it looked like it could have been potential. It could have looked like there was some potential here, but in fact, after that UMP play, it's pretty much the GG in this round, surely. There you go. And it felt like Dignitas just kind of ran in there. Didn't seem all that eloquent.
Yeah, that's what's their basically go-to anti-eco, anti-force by round. They go in pretty fast. basically. On Mirage, they will rush B, and it becomes a problem when you do it all the time, because then people just anti-strat you and just throw nades. That's what Mouse did against them, I think, at Leipzig, but actually it's better than just staying spread around without a clear plan, in my opinion.
Yeah, so that's like another anti-eco coming in, just going into mid here for Dignitas. It is just a formality, although there will be one frag made. It's not going to amount to too much, and Astralis, due to the fact that they didn't really do a huge amount of damage, in fact, what, 2 kills in 2 rounds, and they force bought, they don't really have a good selection of grenades here. If they have a kit, that would be amazing, but they're going to get helmets, which they could definitely not. They definitely don't need to get helmets here, and they could definitely get a kit.
This is something that triggers Henry a lot.
Yeah.
When you have a great half, and instead of just ecoing and playing the percentages, playing for the gun rounds, they force and now have a weak buy. And Dignitas have a good chance of getting to a great start.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree there. And just the fact that, you know, they don't cut those corners of the helmets as well, to have a kit. And how many rounds have we seen like this, which is lost by not having a kit? It's actually astronomical, because you expect more grenades from the Ts. Them getting on a bomb plant is much more likely than in a lot of other rounds, because you don't have the nades to stop them. And the lack of kit can be painful. But either way, it's a 4 versus 3, and some damage. And I think Kirby suffered a headshot there from a teammate, so he's down to 64. So that's not going to help things too much. Ooh, that is a strong battle there from Kirby. A very short one as well, as the tap finds its way to a CT immediately. And now the push comes into the B-bomb side. Karrigan is the only guy there. He's been doing well, though, so far here. And there is the first frag. Ooh, just able to get to safety, and his teammate's going to clean up Config, who was very focused on finishing off Karrigan. Now Kirby against 3 players. I think he spots Device, and Device, unfortunately for him, will spot the frag. So there is the 13-6. So Astralis, despite not having the most optimal buy that they should have had, they will still win.
I think this play from Karrigan is a good example of the difference between maybe tier 1 and tier 2 players, right? A lot of players would just flash for themselves, then peek, and he just flashed and bought time for his teammate to flash for him with a better flash, and after that he peeks, gets the 1 kill, and then just continues to stay alive and buy time for his team to rotate, because they had the number advantage.
Indeed. It's great to see all those little touches. If you download the demos of these matches, you will see a lot more stuff like that, which cannot be all be taught by the perspective that we hold on from our observer. So here is Tensky just harassing the door, and Dupree is P90ing from Forklift, which has been altered so that you can actually shoot more reliably through it.
I think they want to flash him in here. Yeah.
Yes, P90, in we go. Glorious P90. Glory is not to be had, but Zipex is there to support. Gets the refrag. Let's get pushed out of position. Nice Molotov there from Dignitas. And now KGB alone by quad, but the rotation has come in. All the CTs essentially have their attention on the A site now. KGB needs to make some frags here, though. There's the first one. And Tensky looked like he was blind or something, couldn't really spot an engagement onto KGB. And now it's down to Rubino. 17 HP, shot in the face by a USP, and Device will be the one picking up that frag. And looks really good here. Device actually got a lot of frags if you consider that he was massively bottom fragging previously. I think he had 6 frags or something. Now he's got 13.
Yeah, 6 to 8 was his score. And I mean, the initial frag from Device, he throws a smoke, and then thinking that, you know, the T wouldn't expect anyone to peek, he just goes for a static peek and gets the kill. Not much you can do against that one. It's just a duel at that point, gives them an early advantage, and then they just get 2 kills the A1.
Oh, very fast play coming in the next round here from Dignitas. Dupree going absolutely mental there. And that's 2 quick kills in response, and that was very much needed there. And oh, that nade could be money. Yes, it is. Tensky is dead, and now it's just down to MSL with 15 points of health. He needs to plant the bomb as well. And the CTs, he actually has opportunity, but he doesn't know how close they are. And he's going to run into Device. And that's going to be a sad... Oh, he heard him. He must have heard him. Device, will he be fast enough? No. Now it's a winnable round here for MSL.
Again, then, 2v1, going for these plays that are, I mean, risky, but I understand the thought process of the guys, and Astralis wins the round.
Boom.
In a 1v2, because the players move around a bit, they probably know that they, hurt him a lot, that he was low HP, and he wouldn't have expected that if Device didn't run as much. But you could play it differently and still give him less of a chance to win the round. Obviously, it's 14-6 at this point, so the players are a bit relaxed and going for this, for these plays. But if you are going to think about what was the best play, that certainly wasn't it.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's more points to discuss there in a moment, but let's see if Device can get something. There's number one, but that's it. Nice transfer from Kirby. That's pretty great stuff from him. What else can happen for the Astralis side? Obviously, they don't have anything to work with, so expectation is set low. But it is, I mean, for me, as far as talking about feeling a bit more relaxed in this position, I like it when teams in all their matches just play as disciplined as possible, because it's good practice to actually always maintain this mindset.
Yeah, I agree, but maybe at times, like, it's just normal to an extent. An online game, you have a good lead, you don't think you're going to throw it away. But that's how every comeback starts, right? You rarely have a comeback where a team just outplays their opponent every single round. It usually involves some mistakes from that team, some greedy plays or too aggressive plays that your opponent capitalizes on and wins the round that maybe they shouldn't have.
Yeah, and then you go into a disadvantage as you lose money, and you're like, we can't buy now. And
like Zipnik's killing Tensky through the squeaky door on both sides. just has his number on that one.
Yeah, the squeaky extraordinaire. Actually, a player that's very, very good at squeaky play is Nico. Nico is absolutely beast on T and CT side on squeaky. He's probably the player to watch if you play that position. Watch Nico demos on this map immediately.
I mean, as the pre-get, I didn't see him. I thought he saw his foot there.
Maybe he's playing 4-3. Either way, it's a flank from Karrigan. There's flanks all over the place, pushes all over the place, and now KGB is cleaning up, and that's the 15-8. Looks like Dignitas is going to be in a lot of trouble now. I'm not sure exactly how their money looks. Okay, it's not great. It's not great, but they can get some AKs in there.
It's okay, yeah. But just a quick point for that. You mentioned Nico towards the squeaky door. We actually had, I mean, not strats, but we had plans to just, make it so that he has room to play out of that position, like draw someone towards mid, then he can have a duel with him on highway once he opens the door.
Right.
Because, I don't know, 4 times out of 5 he wins that duel. It just gives you an advantage for free. But Device is in a good position for this B push. Oh, here's the flash, and that's a good decision.
So here we go, it's going to be Device trying to make the first action happen, and he'll be able to actually keep himself alive here. But the push is still very, very strong, very prominent on the bomb site, and eventually Dignitas will find the better of the CTs. Astralis having to go for a retake now. It's dupreeh and Zipex. Wow, okay, that is right on the noggin, that one. Good push there from dupreeh there with the flash. Wins the battle, almost getting the second as well. Giving some damage to Kirby. That's some good opportunity now for Zipex to get in there to win these fights, but he won't do it, which is now going to be a 59 situation. So this is interesting because, as you were saying, that's how every comeback starts. Little mistakes here or there, complacency, and now Dignitas have a free round to build money, and Astralis need to double eco. They should just double eco here, just full ecos.
I mean, this is the worst situation, right? Because Device has 1400, Zipex has 1800, so with 1 eco they won't have a good buy, but you have 2 players with 1 3K. Still have a decent buy, so this is where you either maybe force or eco, so that, as a team go for a buy, maybe players with low money, they can go for a play.
The philosophy I always enjoy the most in this spot is because you only need 1 round, it's find a way to get the most buy rounds you can possibly get in the remaining rounds, which is why I really like the doubles save. Yeah.
Yeah. The problem with that is that in this situation they only have maybe 2 of those rounds left, or 2.5, so to speak. And you get outplayed in one of them, you make a mistake in the other, and then suddenly that was the point, right? That's why you want to play as disciplined as possible, because your opponent can always outplay you. There's always a chance for that as well.
Yeah, you have to give yourself enough of a buffer to kind of count for the variance, because sometimes you can just lose, And it's not down to skill. Sometimes it's just the
Or you
variance.
can just unleash Dupree with 1 Digs from the forklift. Why not?
That works as well. And this is really going to put the pressure on Dignitas now because they're going to be considering, okay, we need to just get into a site here. Although Dupree will get eliminated by config. But all the CTs now are starting to rotate. There's only one on B storage. He's pushed. So Astralis realized that it's most likely going to be all about the A site right now. And they will be correct. Look at Carrigan here, very forward. Although, Carrigan is going to hear them running if they go for this
That's why
switch.
he turned towards the wall. It's not because he has wall hack guys, it's because he wanted to hear better where the and of course get shot in the back in the end. Good call from Dignitas to go towards the B-bomb site.
Yeah, really good call. Making sure that they're able to remove the possibility of getting wrecked on that A rotation. And there you go, 15-11, and now the buy is coming from Astralis. They need to they have to just close this straight away. You know, in their position, they just need to get this done right here and right now, because otherwise they're going to start to feel like, guys, we won this game, but we might lose this game.
Yeah.
What's going on?
The game is won, but not yet. I mean, the game is not going to be won by itself, right? And we see going for a quick.
Yes, and the trade comes in immediately. So definitely going to be favouring the terrorist side a little bit as the CP defence is more spread. And Dignitas have loads of time to play with. 1 minute 30 to play with in this position is godlike for any caller on the T side. But Kirby's actually going to work his way into short here. He wants to get those engagements. I don't blame him. A highly skilled player, you want to give him this position. There's the first kill from Kirby. He's in such a brilliant spot to just win the round for his team. He's going to pick up the next frag onto Dupree. Kirby is just cleaning the floor with Astralis right now with that push up short by himself, and he gets 3 kills.
Again, the power of mid control and some miscommunication maybe from Astralis players or bad timing. They wanted to flash Dupree into A main, but Stipnix maybe wasn't aware that Kirby was already at high bay, and setting up for that flash, he just gets shot in the back, and Kirby gets a triple kill running into the A bomb site. And now it's going to be 15-12 for Dignitas. Device saves an op. But his team is not going to have enough money for a buy. They're probably going to go with pistols, maybe just a Kevlar without head armor or some smokes. Which is again a round you can win, but it's probably going to be 15-13 before Astralis has a really healthy buy.
Yep, it is becoming quite doable here for Dignitas. What position were they in? How many rounds were they down before this all happened? I guess this kind of happened gradually. We can see.
It was 14-6, then 15-8.
God damn. God damn.
Yes, Dan. That's how quickly it becomes a 15-12 and you have no money. I mean, it's always, these rounds are really hard to play against, especially against a player like Device. As we saw on Overpass, he moves a lot with the op. So you basically need to play it as a gun round of sorts. If you just play a default, he can pick you off maybe with a good aggressive play. If you just rush into it, you rush into him, and okay, he goes for a sticky.
Wow, Dupree. That is pretty massive. Just 2 1-Digs out of nowhere.
I didn't even see that he got 2. I thought he only got the 1.
Yeah, 2
That's
massive
insane.
kills. But the problem is that Carrigan doesn't have a weapon to play with, and Squeaky must still be open. I'm pretty sure I saw an AK on the floor behind him. There's one there as well. Does he want to pick up guns? Okay, there it is. Oh, I can't make the first kill there. Interesting stuff. And the BM from Rubino just persistently jumping on people's corpses, unloading his magazine, his clip, whatever the hell you call it.
Was that the only thing he was unloading then?
I should think so. What else? What are you suggesting, Yanko? Where are you going with this?
Moving swiftly on. Astralis actually now with all the nades they need, all the guns they need as well. Device yet again going towards that B bomb site, and we see them focusing on it. They're going for a counter boost.
Yeah, once the flames have gone away, boost will commence. And Kevy's just not, he's not staying and holding. No one's holding this. HMB's going to drop in from behind. There is the fast frag. Spots the bomb as well, but gets taken down. Now, this actually kind of sucks for Astralis a little bit, because it's early in the round and they go 4 versus 4.
Yeah, definitely a bit of an interesting position Cajun found himself in. Probably couldn't have gotten more than that, all things considering, but Config manages to get a pick on Zipix as well on the A-bomb side.
Yeah, and right now for Astralis, you know, one of the most important factors, Device with the AWP, he's just holding B. I mean, of the 3 players, if you're going to have one guy on a site, it should be Device holding by himself with the AWP. And Dignitas looking to perhaps recommit into A now. And Astralis, I mean, there's been sufficient delay from Dignitas that they have to question what the play will be. And Dupree, what does he do? Is he going to get flashed in here? Oh, this is big. This could be absolutely massive. They're all blind. Dupree with the double on the spray down. That's a massive play. Good information there as well for Device to be able to make his rotation in. And he will find some cross shots if they try to go and pressure Carrigan on the bomb side directly.
They know there's one more player there because of the flash. He still gets the kill.
And Device is smoked off as well. So he's got to go in close. The clutch here, Tensky versus Device. 20 seconds to play with to plant the bomb. And Device is smartly waiting. Although, will he get impatient? Tensky's almost committing here if he goes any further to having to make the frag, but he's going to go back for the plant, the safe play. And that now is the cue for Device to move forwards to try to find Tensky. But it is often a gamble. Which side will he peek? Device trying to get some info with the jump. But there is Tensky just waiting for Device to avail himself. And Device spots it. Great shot there from Device. He's going to win the round with 6 points of health. One more bullet had connected. Had it been... I'm not even sure if he connected with the legs or what, but that was really close. But Dignitas will lose. Astralis win in 2 maps. And that is a scary second map.